you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 12, Verse 4. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha viparyaya. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham tvam iti apartadir ajnanat purushasya hi swapni vabhati atha dhyanad yaya bandha vipayayo. Aham, I. Tvam, you. Iti, thus. Apartha, misconceived. Di, intelligence. Agyanat, from ignorance. Purusasya, of a person. He, certainly. Swapni, a dream. Iva, like. Abati, appears. Atadhyanat, from the bodily concept of life. Yaya, by which. Bandha, bondage. Viparyayo, and misery. Translation: misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept of life is a cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence. Purport: the conception of I and you, aham, tvam, as separate from each other is due to our forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Person Krishna is the central point, and all of us are his part and parcels, just as hands and legs are part and parcels of the whole body. When we actually come to this understanding of being eternally related to the Supreme Lord, this distinction, which is based on the bodily concept of life, cannot exist. The same example can be cited here with the hand is the hand and the leg is the leg, but when both of them engage in the service of the whole body, then there is no such distinction as hands and legs. For all of them belong to the whole body, and all the parts are working towards constituting the whole body. Similarly, when living entities are in Krishna consciousness, there is no such distinction as I and you, because everyone is engaged in the service of the Lord. Since the Lord is absolute, the services are also absolute. Even though the hand is working one way and the leg is working in another way, since the purpose is Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are all one. This is not to be confused with the statement of the Mayavadi philosopher that everything is one. Real knowledge is that hand is hand, leg is leg, body is body, and yet all together they are one. As soon as a living entity thinks that he is independent, his conditional, material existence begins. The conception of independent existence is therefore like a dream. One has to be Krishna consciousness, his original position, then he can be freed from the material bondage. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We thank all devotees who are here to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we'll be discussing on the subject matter, we are not this body, but we are eternal spirit souls. This not new concept, right? Why are we here? Why do we have to hear it again and again? Is it necessary? Yeah, is it? Not necessary. We all know about it, right? Yeah, yeah, let's go. Easy. Okay. Now, basically, though we know a lot of things, though by theoretically we understand these concepts, something it's good to know again and again. It's good to repeatedly hear it again and again. So it becomes a second nature. So that's why Prabhupada in almost all the purports he would have again and again repeated in Bhagavad Gita or in Bhagavatam he would have repeated, we are not the body, we are eternal spirit souls, we are the servant of Krishna. So here we see Kuvera speaking to Dhruva Maharaj that you're not the body, not that Dhruva Maharaj doesn't know about it. But it's sometimes because of this ongoing circumstances of this material life, application of what we have learnt becomes difficult. Among devotees also we have a feeling, right? Like I'm Indian, you're Nepali, you're Buddhist, you're Christian. A lot of things we distinguish ourselves in the process of identifying ourselves. So even though we are devotees, it's not that we are out of the three modes of material nature. We are not out of the influence of Maya. We are always under the influence of Maya. So, and we are work in progress. It's not that we are perfectioned. So we need to always remind ourselves, yes, we are work in progress. Wherever there is a chance, we want to improve in our services, improve in our consciousness. So how are we born? How do we get this body? One might have accumulated this contaminations from many, many births or many, many lifetimes. And where there is suitability of our mentality, we get such kind of body. Let's say, for example, we may think, okay, I'm Russian, I'm Australian, I'm Indian. So the mentality that we have is not concerned with the body, but the contaminations. So how we can put together is, okay, in this birth we have got a particular body, particular mind and mentality, and it is suitable for our contaminations that we have gained from the past, and also suitable for the combinations of material modes of nature that we are situated in presently. For example, we all know that living entities can take any one of the 8.4 million species that is currently existing. And we see that there are different types of mentality, an Indian mentality, a British mentality, a Bali mentality or American mentality. So how would we identify, let's say, a British person, if he is a bit firm or a formal kind of person, then we associate him to be a Britisher. It's most often said that Britishers have a stiff upper lip, which means that they are more resolute, like unwavered or unemotional in any adverse situations. And when it comes to maybe Italian mentality, people say like they are vivacious in nature, high spirited, very cheerful. So again, when it comes to a person from Bali, he would be like more having this service attitude or caring. How I know this is because we had been to Bali a couple of years back. So what I found is wherever we go, the culture of people is that they are very warm, they're very respectful. And what also was what I was able to connect is when we saw a dance drama in which they depicted Lord Ram's pastimes, Sita, Hanuman, everybody was there. So I was like, oh, they know about Lord Ram, they know Ramayana. And in the Bali city, when you're going, you'll be able to find a lot of statues of characters from Mahabharata. So it will be like Arjuna's statue will be there, Bhima, or Krishna riding the chariot of Arjuna. All those will be there. So I felt like, okay, maybe these are kind of people who are people who are easy to take up devotion, or people who wanted to show care and love and affection towards others. So maybe they are there in that part of the world. So people with the same type of mentality are put together. I also found that Bali has a history where Indonesia was originally occupied by, conquered by the Muslim invaders. Most of the country is all Muslim dominated except for Bali, where people who wanted to practice Hinduism had come together and formed a community, and they started doing their faith. Right? So this is how Krishna also have created us, given us a body based on our nature, based on our mentality, mind. So we take up, okay, this kind of body. We take up this kind of body to enjoy. At the same time, we also suffer with the same kind of body. Why? Because there is always a tendency to think that we are the best. I mean, in general, how do we Australians think? We think like, yes, we are Aussie. In any parade or anything, we say Aussie, 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 right? When you go to India, they're like India, India, India. Any cricket match, any football match, it happens, right? Because I'm born here, I'm thinking, yes, this is the best. You ask my daughter, she'll say, I like pasta, I like noodles. Originally, I would say I like idli, I like dosa. So whatever I'm born and brought up with, I associate with that. So that is how our natural tendency is. When we go out on books, we distribute books. What do they say? I'm Christian, I don't want this. I don't want to be converted. I like my religion. So we are more attached to our country, our religion, and that's our nature. And everything about a country is best. But is that good? That is Maya. That which is not. We are always associating ourselves to Maya. Generally, people of the world think, oh, America is the best. If I go to America, I'll be happy. But what do Americans think? I should go for vacation. So it's the same struggle everywhere, all over the universe. Useless struggle. Everyone is struggling to be happy. Why? Because they don't know how to be happy. There are a lot of books written by many philosophers, many people, how to be better in time management, how to get better at work, how to lead a happy life, how to lead a happy family life. But if you ask a devotee of Hare Krishna, they'll say, this is the little secret, this is the solution, take it. So what is that secret? Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in one of his poems, he says, Jeeva Krishna Das e Bishwash, Korle to ar dukahai, Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re sabai. Which means, if we develop the faith that we are eternal spirit souls, we are not the body, we are servants of Krishna, and if we always simply chant the holy names, Radha Krishna, in association of Vaishnavas, all our troubles will go away. Of course, very easy to understand, hard to apply. That's why we still have troubles. So, because we have carried this conditioning for millions of lifetime, so it's easy to detach ourselves. Can we discuss like what are our current problems? Maybe one from this side, one from this side, like a case study. What problem is actually bothering us too much? Maybe from the back. Yeah, you want to start? Yeah. Yeah, a particular problem that you're currently facing. What do you say? So the problem is we are in a confused state of mind. Can we say that? Yeah? In general, we all are. When we work, I want to work. I want to also make my children happy, be at home. I want to also do spirituality. I want to also take care of my services. I want to do my chanting nicely. At the same time, I have to also earn the bread for the family, right? But if I just, there's always a confusion. Yeah, I can say like, yeah, if it's just the bread, then why should I go for highly paid job? Why should I take stress and all that is there, right? So I'm confused. And so what do we do? So what is the point that we are missing here? We can, yeah, that's a valid option. Yes. What is the other? What are we doing here? We are attaching ourselves to the body, where we are thinking, okay, I am so and so. I have to be like this. I have to have a house. I have to have the children well educated, maybe private school, maybe government school. It's me. I'm thinking this is how my setup of family should be. So, am I bringing Krishna so far? Not yet. So, when I'm attached to the body, then I put myself in a box. Then I'm like restricted. That is cause of suffering. Correct? Any other case where you're suffering, or we are not suffering at all? We are very happy. Yes, Mataji. Yes, that's a problem, right? Yeah, we have lot of things. We are not setting priorities, and we might not be giving the right priority to the right thing. So we are lacking time, right? So that's another problem. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, yeah, body pain. It is always there. Even now, when I'm sitting, I feel like, oh my God, maybe it would have been better if I had, done my yoga properly, gone for for a walk or a jog. Always there, right? That's inevitable. When you have a body, you have to suffer. Some pain is always there. Prabhu, you? Correct. Yeah. So that is problems from outside. What problem you have, Prabhu? You're anxious. What will happen to me? Will I have visa to go back home, or will I have visa to come back? Things like that. Yes. So the cause of suffering basically is all our problems are caused because we forget Krishna. We forget Krishna, we are inimical towards Krishna since time immemorial, and that is why we are here in this material world. The original cause of our suffering is a forgetfulness of Krishna. But when that suffering takes the form of, the suffering actually takes in the form of identification with the body. Then I'm like, okay, when I think of the body, then I'm like, okay, after my studies, what should I do? I want to enjoy. So basically, if I have a life partner, then maybe I'll enjoy life. And once I have a life partner, then I think, okay, let me have children. And then with children, the whole family, I'll have a good, happy life. Then once I have children, then I'm like, okay, if I have a house, then I'll be happy. And if it's small house, apartment, maybe, the resale value will not be good. Then maybe if a bigger apartment, then it is better. So I work towards it. I'm like, because I'm this person, I want to have a bigger house, then I want to have a bigger car, then I have to have good associate, because I'm this and this person, so I have to associate with rich people, or maybe if I'm a sports person, I'll attach to a sport kind of person. I relate myself to people whom I can relate to. So I'm building what? I'm myself a personality. I'm trying to bring more similar kind of personality for what? To enjoy life. All this for what? To make myself look better. Correct? So, and this disease becomes more acute when we plunge ourselves into seriously enjoying on the bodily platform. A wife might say, okay, I'm so and so, I have to be like this. A husband might say, oh, so you can say like, you want to be like this, I also want to be like this. So then what happens? Stress. So when each one is holding bodily attachment, let's say a wife is very liberal, or a wife is very conservative, and the opposite spouse is very, if the wife says conservative and the husband is liberal, then what happens? The wife will bring in the conservative approach. Anything that she wants to do, she'll bring up the traditional approach. But if the husband is liberal, then he wants to bring liberal approach. The wife might say, my daughter need to study in selective school. But my husband will say, what? Any school is fine. That's okay. Don't worry. They'll be fine. You and me are fine. They'll also be fine. Right? Something like that. In other words, what will say, some people will say, give me examples. A conservative and a liberal. What will a conservative parent say? Exactly. So it'll be like the wife will be very happy to stay home, do the chore. I mean, chores is, yeah. These days it's shared. I don't want to say like wife only does it. So the wife will say, yeah, I want to stay home. You also stay home. That's another problem. And the husband will say, no, I want to go out. I'm liberal. I want to face people. I want to see. So then again, clashes happen, right? So again, this is attachment to body. Okay. So what are we supposed to focus on? What's the solution? So the devotees at some point, they understand, okay, this liberal is not working, this conservative is not working, approach is not working, we should focus on Krishna. And when they focus on Krishna, what do they think about? That particular verse by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Jive Vishwash Korle To Ar Dukhanai. No more difficulties, no more pain. Let's chant the name of Radha Krishna all the time. So it is possible. But does that mean just because we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we will not have problems in life? We don't have to pay the fees? We don't have to pay mortgages? Does that happen ever? No, right? So we still have, it's not like I have become a devotee, when I go out in the rain, I'll not get wet. I will still get wet. So that's the problem. What devotee does is, he knows, yes, there'll be problems. He'll be cautious. He'll take an umbrella and go. It's not that, as I said, devotees are work in progress. They have not perfection. And we also know that there is a lot of things to improve in ourselves. So, so does it mean, Prabhu was telling about a problem with the body. So far I have been attaching myself to the body. So should I take care of the body or not? Should I only think, oh, I'm a soul, I don't have to take care of this body? No, that's not the case, right? We should always think about taking care of the body. Why? Not to enjoy with this body, but to serve Krishna. And by serving Krishna, we'll be satisfied. That's one way of looking at it. My Guru Maharaj once stepped on a nail. He got hurt on his foot and there was an infection. So Prabhupada, on hearing this, he wrote a letter to my Guru Maharaj saying, you have given this body to Krishna at the time of initiation. So it is your responsibility. Don't think that just because you have surrendered yourself to Krishna, you don't have to take care of your body. No. It is, although we think that this is gurus and Krishnas, we will be like, Prabhupada says, Krishna has given you back that body to take care of it on his behalf. So again, this body is our responsibility, even though we have surrendered our body. So Guru Maharaj says, it is not that we should neglect our body, because that's the vehicle which is helping us serve Krishna. So then people might say, okay, you're doing everything for Krishna. They criticize you. They're like, you wake up so early in the morning, you chant your rounds, which takes 2 hours in your day, you have to work, you have to do this, you have to do that. But as devotees, do we feel like it's a pain that we have to do so many things in our day-to-day life? No, right? Now it's become part of our life. Even though initially, okay, chanting of 16 rounds would have been very difficult. Now it's like part and parcel. So it's not that just because devotees are doing service to Krishna, they suffer. There is suffering only when we attach ourselves to a body. When we think, I am this, I have to do it in a certain way, then we are tied to that bodily attachment. Then there is no concept of service towards Krishna coming. So then when we bring the point of, yes, I want to serve Krishna, then we are thinking, okay, wherever I am, let it be in Nepal, or I'm here in India, or in Australia, my point is to serve Krishna. Wherever it is, I'm going to serve Krishna. Then the problem of visa and everything dissolves, right? So similarly, when we are confused, then when you know how to when we know who's our priority. So when our ultimate goal is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when you have problems between services, then that's a different issue. Which service to do first, which service to do second, then that's a different issue. But when you are serving Krishna and when you have other things to take care of, yes, you prioritize first service, second service, third service, like that, right? So then that problem is also sorted. And when you're confused, then you take a book, we read, then we speak to mentors who are, advanced in Krishna consciousness. Then our confused state of mind is also resolved. So that's why when we take shelter of Krishna, when we take shelter of Krishna's devotees, everything gets into place. But this will work for some time, and again we'll get attached to body, again we'll become confused, again we'll lose our priorities, again we will fall sick, because this is material world, it's prone to happen. So this is Dukalyam Ashashvatam. So sometimes people think, why are devotees so happy? Why are they not miserable? Have you gone on the street? They'll be like, why are you distributing books? Mataji, you would have seen people, no? Why don't you have any better job to do? You're Indian, why are you doing all these things? You're shaming our country, kind of. You get such comments. But what do we do? Because it's a service, we do it and we come back. And so this is what Prabhupada says is, this Krishna consciousness is the arrangement that is given to us to perfect ourselves. And Prabhupada always used to say, Krishna conscious movement is not a religion, it's a science. When I join Krishna consciousness, when people ask, are you Hindu, are you Christian, are you Muslim, then I'll be like confused. What should I say? Because we accept Muslims, we accept Christians, we accept everybody, right? So now by reading, then I understand, okay, it's a science. What does science mean? When we when two chemicals mix together, then you get a particular reaction, and as it should be as expected, correct? So when acid mixes with an alkaline, so what we expect is an effervescence, and byproduct is water and salt. So it is happening as it should happen. So if we think, okay, how does this work? The verse that we were seeing is Jiva Krishna Das E Bishwash. So the more we have faith that we are the soul, we are not the body, and we understand that we are the servant of Krishna, then we'll be out of suffering. We'll be bereft of any suffering that we are going through. And the more constantly we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then we are happy. How can we prove that? Ask any devotee. Let's take, we are bringing a new person to a temple. We feed them with a plate full of prasad, whatever they like. Could be halwa, and maybe a beautiful flavored rice with a lot of sabjis, paneer, gulab jamun and everything. You give them, they honor it, and then immediately what you ask them to do? Okay, now that's finished, now let's go to Kirtan. They immerse themselves in the Kirtan. Then what do? We dance in front of the Lord. And then we give them a little bit of philosophy. So do you think they'll get bored? Otherwise, what would have people done? Right? They would have maybe gone to the best thing they could have done is gone to a pub, had some drinks, associated with like-minded people. Next day what happens? Headache. Or what happens? They want to crave for going to have the drink again. Addiction. So Krishna consciousness has made it so easy for us that it is enjoyable, pleasurable, at the same time we are satisfied. And we want to do this again and again, and it doesn't hurt us. Right? Does it hurt us having association of devotees in a kirtan or dancing? We enjoy. Right? So we should time and again remind ourselves that we are not the body. We cannot be happy if we are identifying with the body. We can only be happy by serving Krishna. This is the mental adjustment that we have to make. And we should try to avoid slipping back into the Maya consciousness where we want to sleep a bit more, watch a bit more iPad, watch a bit more videos, watch a bit more, do something extra. So try to get back. So unless we train ourselves in these basic points, there is a tendency to forget. So we have to remind ourselves again and again. So even if we forget, come to Bhagavatam class. Devotees will remind, Prabhupada will remind us. Hearing to Bhagavatam, Prabhupada in the purport has given us again and again that we are not the body, we are the soul. So actually, when we associate with the body, we know that, as Prabhu was saying, actually, yesterday or day before yesterday, I was actually jotting down, okay, what is hurting in my body? Maybe first, I'm growing old, so knee pain, then because of sitting on the chair for too long, lower back pain, and then sometimes you put the heater on for too long, headache, you're not hydrated, and so many things, right? You can list down, and I was like thinking, okay, what is manageable, what is not manageable? So otherwise it will bother you, right? So your consciousness is like, I'm anxious. Will I be all right or will I not be all right? So things like this. Either you're physically sick or you're mentally sick. Something or the other has to happen, right? So better arrangement is, we make arrangements. Okay, it's summer, stay hydrated. Winter, have warm clothes. If then you have to take care of your kids, then if the kids are going out in summer, then apply sunscreen and all that. And then winter, then they cover socks and everything, ask them to get ready, keep them protected. So as long as we are in the material world, this is the adjustments we have to keep doing. What happens then? So the better arrangement is take to Krishna consciousness and get out of this material world. How? By serving Krishna, we have to make arrangements that Krishna actually invites us to his home, not go back home, back to the material world. Sometimes people might say, okay, Krishna might say, okay, here you're suffering in minus 6 degree, 42 degrees plus. So come back, I'll, take care of you. It's very pleasant here. But we might say, no, but it is, that's not Australia. I don't get the same weather there. Because we are so conditioned to this life, we don't want to leave this and go back home. So the Maharaj compares it to the worm in the stool. Even if you take the worm out of the stool will be chastising us. So why have you taken me out? It gets offended. Put me back. I'm comfortable there. So unfortunately, that's the situation we are also in. Even though we go through a lot of pain and suffering, we try to take pleasure in small things that we see in our day-to-day life and still think this is a better place. We are trying to make this a better place to stay. But what Maharaj says, what Prabhupada says in the purport is that we have to make arrangements to go back home, back to Godhead. How? By associating with devotees, increasing the faith, and also by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we take to this process and don't get deceived by this advertisements that we get to see day in and day out, which says, well, the material world is a better place to stay. Buy a Tesla, you'll be comfortable. Buy this, you'll be comfortable. Buy a washing machine, which is much faster. Making our life comfortable. But at the end of the day, it doesn't work. We still are suffering. Real happiness means it's in the spiritual world along with Krishna. We have to be convinced of that. And then we will be immediately happy. Even in this life, because we are in the process, we can prepare ourselves to have that eternal permanent life in the spiritual world with Krishna. So Hare Krishna. Any comments, feedback, questions? Yes, please. I didn't say Hare Krishna, I said they are more devoted. They follow Trimurtis, they follow Shiva, Brahma and Vishnu. Nice, nice. Okay. Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just speculated thinking, okay, maybe, Bhima at one point, he goes and takes shelter with some tribes. So I thought they belong to the tribal family, so they have more of the service attitude towards people. Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah. It's amazing, right? Like, other than India, if you feel like some other country knows Rama and Mahabharata and they are following, because it's like every street you go, there'll be some deities or they worship their demigods, and every street, every home. Actually, the driver was saying, "Don't worry, every home has it." I was only seeing the streets. They're like every home, and it seems the temple, main temple, the government has said no building should go bigger than the main temple. So that's a, yeah, rule there. So all that they have tried to maintain. Yeah, so government is very supportive of devotion nature. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. How can we? Sorry. How? Of, yes, everybody is serving the personality of God. See, at the end of the day, in a family, um, we are Prabhupada family. Let's say if in my family, if my second daughter is serving one thing to me, and if my first daughter is serving something to me, will I take it differently? No, I accept both, right? So similarly, Krishna will also see you like that and see your brother or sister from Prabhupada family also like that. So you might be doing book distribution service, or you might be doing a pujari service, or you might be cleaning a toilet, but which service that my nobody does, if my daughter takes up and does, I'll be more pleased, right, in the house. Similarly, Krishna will also say, okay, nobody is doing book distribution, you're doing it, very good. So nobody is cleaning the place, you're doing it. Yeah, Krishna will show mercy. So from we have to see from Krishna's eyes how me and my friends are looked at, or me and the pure devotees are looked at. So if he or my Guru Maharaj is accepting that person's service, then I can also accept that service. Then who am I, right? I'm nobody in front of Guru and Krishna. So if Guru is accepting services from all these devotees, if Prabhupada is accepting service from so many million, so many thousands of devotees, who am I to say I don't like this service of that particular devotee? I have, Prabhupada is accepted, Krishna is accepted. That's why they are doing the service. So then there's no competition. What about a non-devotee? They are more work in progress. That's all. They have an opportunity to come, right? So we are some work in progress. They are more work in progress. That's all. There's no difference. Everybody is work in progress. Some are ripe, some are unripe. That's all. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Right. Perfect. Well said. Thank you for sharing. Very nice, isn't it? Yeah. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Antakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,